Social mentions, such as when somebody tweets your URL or shares your blog post on Google Plus or Facebook, etc. These are the new link building. In this video, I'm going to explain how to use the BuzzSumo tool as well as the advanced search on Twitter to kind of identify influencers who might be willing to share your blog posts or other URLs across the internet. Let's get started. Your first tactic, your first place to look is Twitter. So let's sign into our Twitter account. So I'm going to go over to Twitter. And you can see up here in the right-hand corner that I'm signed in, okay? And then take your keywords, and you can just type your keywords in. So you can say, let's say I produce organic baby food, and I want people to maybe tweet out a blog post I wrote about, how organic baby food is wonderful, and your kid will be smarter, or something like that. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to type in organic baby food, and I'm going to hit enter. And that's just a simple Twitter search. And then I'm able to go down here and I can find people who are tweeting. So here's a person, Rachel Osborne, and she is tweeting and she's sharing. So then I can open her up. And what you're looking for here, so now you've found a person who's interested in baby food and interested in blogging, you can see here. And so then the question is, how influential? So she has 3,400 followers on Twitter, which is not a lot. It's something, but it's not a million. It's not like a trillion. And so now you can actually tweet to her and say, hey, I've got organic baby food. I'd like to send you a sample or check out my blog post, or could I guest blog with you? You have to pitch them. I can't solve that problem for you. But the Twitter is wonderful because I can literally click tweet, and then now I can type her a message, and that's going to show up in her Twitter feed, as well as possibly generate an email to her with my pitch. So you can use Twitter to find influencers who might be interested in tweeting out your blog content, etc. Now, what else can you do? When you do this search, go to the bottom, go to more options, and then go to advanced search. It's a little bit hard to find sometimes. I also have the direct link for you in my materials that go with this YouTube. So you can go into Twitter advanced search. Now on Twitter advanced search, you can put in here, I want this exact phrase, organic baby food. And then you can, even if you were local, you could say, people near Dallas, whatever, and you can hit search. So you can use Twitter advanced search to really drill in. And then again, you're going to find a person who is somehow interested in it. So here's Nicole Burgess, right? And then you're going to look at that person and you can see, she's not a super incredible influencer. She only has 100 followers, but she may be very willing to tweet out your blog post or something, especially when you can see she just tweeted about baby food. So you've got a person that is already kind of primed to be interested in your content, and now you're able to pitch them to helpfully get them to tweet your content. Now you also want to realize she may have a blog. Some of these people have blogs as well, so you want to think about using Twitter to find them. Do they have a blog, etc. Okay, so those are your steps on Twitter. Sign into Twitter. Search for your keywords. You're looking for people who have a lot of influence. So you're looking, do they have a lot of followers on Twitter? Not people who they follow, but people who follow them. And do they tweet on the keyword themes that are relevant to your website, your business, your products? And then Twitter has this fabulous feature. You can tweet to that person and essentially kind of send them an email. Hey, I've got this blog post. Check it out. That's the process of finding influencers on Twitter who might tweet out your URLs. Now that process on Google Plus is really the same. So you can log into Google Plus. You can do your search for, organic baby food. It's good to put quotes around these things. And then you're going to find people on Google Plus who are talking about organic food. Now, the question that's a little bit more challenging is, Google Plus does not make it as nearly as easy to reach out to a person, but sometimes in their about part, they'll tell you something. You might have to look them up. Sometimes you can take a person like this and you might, especially with an unusual name like that, you can type it into Twitter and you can often find that they may be on Twitter as well. I don't know if this person's on Twitter, but they may be. So you can use Google Plus. The reason you would use Google Plus is that it's Google's product, so it has a sort of an inordinate amount of influence over Google search results, even though, let's face it, it's pretty much a pathetic social network that's not really used. But I would put it as a complement to Twitter. So Twitter and Google Plus, that's your process there. Finally, let's talk a little bit about BuzzSumo, which is really sort of the same process but on steroids. They have a freemium model, so I think you can do about 3 searches per day for free. But if you've got the budget, for about $99 a month, they have a pro model, which is what I'm going to show you. And it is really awesome for finding content, for finding people who might want to share your content on social media. Again, a benefit for social media, a benefit for SEO purposes. So for instance, let's go over to BuzzSumo and let's type in our keyword that we're interested in, organic baby food. And it's good to put quotes around it so you don't get too much garbage, and then just do your search. And so this tells you that in the past year, the #1 shared thing about this topic was this article on Gerber that's on CNN. Now, obviously not CNN, that's not the point. Here's what's cool about it. You can go and click on sharers, and then it will tell you who shared this content, and it gives you kind of a relevancy score. And so you can see that this Beth Copeland lady, she shared that content. So then you can go check her out on Twitter, and wow, she has 778,000 followers. So then you can find out if she might be interested. So BuzzSumo will take a content keyword like organic food, organic baby food. It'll tell you what type of content did people tweet out, and then you can look at the sharers to see who were the people who shared it. So that's really a cool thing. So keywords to sharers to influencers to reach out to pitch. Here's what else you can do on BuzzSumo that's really interesting. So I took organic baby food, I did the search here, and I identified the top people, Earth's Best, plumorganics.com. Now let's say you're competing against these companies. You can take their domain, earthsbest.com, Control C as in Charlie. Then let's go over to BuzzSumo, put in the domain, search. So you put in a domain of a competitor, and you can see who shared that content. Now they didn't get a lot. Here's where they have a lot of Twitter shares. If they have a lot of Twitter sharers, right? So see how here's Twitter shares, and see how this one has 20. So they wrote it something infant feeding schedule. That might be interesting. And they got 20 shares on Twitter. If the force is with you, you can click on view sharers, and it'll tell you that Fit for Mom Las Vegas shared that content of that competitor. And then now you can go and reach out to this Fit for Mom Las Vegas. It doesn't have 1 billion followers, she only has 632 followers, but she's clearly interested in sort of the, mom stuff. Look at all those babies, right? So the point there is you can use them to possibly reach out to them. So your process here is a little different. You put the domain in of a competitor, and then you look at who shared it, especially paying attention to Twitter sharers, and then you can use this to find out who shared that content and reach out to those people. All of this is the objective is to identify influencers who are likely to share your content. So BuzzSumo is really an awesome tool for this. Again, caveat. If you have a choice between someone tweeting your URL or sharing it on their blog, from an SEO perspective, the blog is much better. It's always better to have blog URL sharing, blog links than Twitter links. But this video has been about social mentions, not about traditional link building. So we want to kind of keep that perspective. Okay, let's wrap up what we learned. So we learned what's our objective. We're looking for social mentions, so people sharing our URLs on social media. The most important, Twitter and Google Plus from an SEO perspective. We're going to use Twitter Advanced Search to find people who would tweet our content. We're going to look at Twitter to find influencers, people who have a lot of followers. And then we're going to use that tweet to them function to be able to solicit a possible relationship. We're also going to use BuzzSumo. If we can swing it, we're going to pay $99. You could do it for a month or so to identify influencers. BuzzSumo is really awesome because you can put in keywords and find what's content is shared in the influencers, and you can put in a competitor URL and see who shared their content. So that's really cool feature in BuzzSumo. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, always don't hesitate to put them in the YouTube description or the YouTube comments, and I will do my best to answer them. Or just send me an email. You can find me on the internet. Just Google Jason McDonald. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.